Thanks to the support as a channel member, Kevin Wilcox. Well, I've officially been here at Norwich long enough to believe that I'm not going to get sacked after 8 episodes. So I've been brave enough to take the tags off my training wear. I'm not going to wear it all the way up there because I look like a right Wally. But this is a very nice piece of kit. No thumb holes, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is thick. It's like fleecy lined. I could wear this to walk the dog. This is very nice. It did cost as much as the Schalke stuff combined. So Norwich, sort your pricing out. But I suppose as manager, this is free, right? Right. Hello and welcome to Club 4, Part 10 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a Premier League game for you against Tottenham and an FA Cup game against West Ham. I figure our only chance of winning anything this year is the FA Cup, so we may as well get involved in the process, engaged in the FA Cup. We'll just get knocked out today, but I've decided I'm going to win it. So it's not often I decide I'm going to win the FA Cup, so fingers crossed this is a season where it does actually come off. Since you were last with me, we've continued to play pretty well. The one defeat that we got was against Brighton, who, if you remember from the last episode, were the team that were just above us, battling for I'm going to do air quotes, for a Champions League qualification spot. Realistically, I don't think either of us will be there at the end of the season, but we are, or we were both around about there now. Unfortunately, we did lose against Brighton and have fallen behind them just a little bit, but the Premier League table is still looking very pleasant for Norwich fans. We have 10 points more than we finished last season with after 24 games. Not a chance we're going to be getting relegated. And we are realistically in a race for Europe, because if you look at the points totals, we're only 1 point behind Arsenal in 4th place. But then you look behind us, there's a 4-point gap between us and Leicester, and then a 7-point gap down to West Ham. I think at this point we're feeling fairly confident. We should at the very least finish top 8. And now it's just about making sure we're not the team that finishes 8th and misses out on Europe of any flavour. Of course, if we win the FA Cup, we get into Europe that way anyway. But things are going really rather well. We did do a little bit of transfer business. After saying I would do none, you know me, we had to do a little bit. It was sensible business. You already knew Slish was leaving, so he's gone to Olympiacos and Haruna's moved into the first team squad. And we signed just one player, Angelino. Yes, he's 34 years old. It's not a typical Kev signing, but if you remember back in the summer, we didn't have a backup left back. It's something we needed. We basically had no money. He was available from Liverpool for £1.3 million for a player that just, 4 years ago, Liverpool spent £49 million to sign from Paris Saint-Germain. They, in turn, spent £47 million to get him away from Leipzig. This is a player who has been highly sought after throughout his career. He's played 12 times for Spain, and as a backup option for Sessegnon, I think he's probably more than up for the task. In fact, star rating wise, he's actually considered a better option than Sessegnon, who has actually fallen off a cliff a little bit development wise this season from a peak there. You can see he's dropped down. Those of you who like attributes, you can see that there's a few of those attributes dropping as well. What's this one? What's this bottom attribute? Whatever that is, that's the one that's dropped the most, I think. There's a couple of them that have gone up. Some of them are labelled. Dribbling has gone down a little bit. You know I don't care about attributes, but what I do care about is the fact that he's 31 and seemingly in decline. So we've replaced him with a 34-year-old who's also in decline, but declining from a much higher starting point. Neither of them are long-term solutions, but both of them are more than adequate to get us through to the end of the season. And the really good thing about Angelino, because of his youth career at Manchester City, he is classed as a homegrown player as well. So by letting Slish go and bringing in Angelino, we've actually improved our homegrown player situation in the squad as well, which was one of the other goals that we had for January. So, sensible business. I am capable of sensible business, apparently. Because we've got quite a settled team now, we have got a few players who are starting to make more and more noise about wanting to leave as well. Mohamed Kante has actually requested a transfer now. We've set a £9 million asking price on him. He's a player I'd like to keep around because I think he is really useful to have, because he's a decent centre-back option who can play full-back either side as well. But with Caesar at the club, who basically has come in and done the same role as Kante, he's kind of not really needed anymore. It's really cost him coming in and breaking his leg on his debut and effectively then ending up replaced. I wouldn't have signed Caesar if Kante had already been established at that point. But he wasn't. We signed Caesar. Caesar's better. So Kante kind of has got lost in the shuffle a little bit, but we're not going to let him go cheap. £9 million, I think, is entirely reasonable. Otherwise, I'm happy to just keep him around. William Mateus is another one who has decided he's had enough of being a rotation player, came in and started just about every game when he came in January, but another one who's suffered from Caesar arriving and falling down the pecking order as a result of it. So if we get a decent enough offer for him, I'm willing to let him go as well. And then we've got Cassolari. We've talked about him before. He has actually scored some goals recently. If we have a look at his recent form, he's scored goals against Wolves and Bournemouth in the recent past, having come off the bench in both of those games. We've agreed a £39 million price with him. I can't imagine anyone's going to get anywhere near it. Although, to be fair, he's 24 years old. He's still got potential to improve. And despite not really being a regular starter, he's now been involved in 30 games for us and scored 9 goals with 6 assists in the Premier League. So that's 15 goal contributions from 30 appearances, of which only 19 of them are starts. So 15 goal contributions from 19 starts. I mean, there's an argument he should be playing for us more regularly, although we watch him and get frustrated with him. But just based purely on those statistics, I think there should be someone out there willing to drop 20, 25 million pound on him. So we'll wait and see. Again, I'm not desperate to sell him. Nobody can leave between now and the end of the season anyway, but they're the ones who are potentially going to be on their way out come the summer, when we should get a nice looking transfer budget again and hopefully be able to continue rebuilding this squad. The player I really am keen to bring in the summer, Etienne Tipple. We've got a £42.5 million optional future fee on him. I know that's insane, but he is English and he has been really good. And I think I probably pay it if the money's there. Probably best that the money's not there when the time comes. This is the team anyway for the game against Tottenham. Of course, Tipple not able to play today because Tottenham are his parent club. So we're going with Hoy and Hal in goal. New boy Angelino at left back with Caesar and Mateus as the back two. I mean, that's effectively what we play. And Mingueza at right back. Zamorano then at the base of the midfield with Walsh and Janusik ahead of him. Gilberto Carlos behind Pedro Luis and Cassolari up front. Alvarez is struggling a little bit for form at the moment. So he is actually out of the team on merit at the moment. You saw the form Cassolari's been in lately. Pedro Luis is continuing to improve and has actually taken over from Kante as our vice captain. I think Pedro Luis is the future of this football club. He's going to take over that Alvarez role that he's been doing for the last 9 years, being the exotic fancy foreign striker who drags little old Norwich to performances above where they're supposed to be. And I think we probably are ready for a changing of the guard with Alvarez moving on. He'll be 31 by this coming summer. And if we can get anywhere near 30, 40, 50 million pounds, I mean, I think that's really ambitious. His price range suggests it's not. There's clubs in for him. If we can get anywhere near those kind of values from him. I know I was singing a similar song last summer and no one came in for him. I certainly don't plan to transfer list him. If anyone deserves a testimonial at this club, it's him. He's been here through thick and thin over the last however many years, including sticking around for 3 years in the Championship. So he definitely deserves to leave on his own terms when he's ready to. But I'd love to have that money so I can waste it all on Tipple and you lot can all tell me off. Although, to be fair, you told me not to sign Zamorano permanently last summer and he's been brilliant. I really like him. He's got 30 caps for Argentina. I don't really get what's not to want about Zamorano. So sometimes, boys and girls, we just have to accept that Kev is right. On this occasion, though, with Griffin Diaz sat there, still not able to nail down a regular starting spot because Tipple's in his way, there probably is a very strong argument for not dropping a club record transfer on a player who plays in a position that our hottest prospect is learning to play. I see it. It doesn't necessarily mean I will do anything about it when the time comes because Tipple is English. He's the only English player who regularly plays for us. Obviously, we've got Asa Walsh as well, but he doesn't start if Tipple's fit. So we do need more of these English players around. So it does. We know we've got to pay a premium for them when we get them anyway. And at least with Tipple, we know he'd come straight in the team and be a regular starter and we'd get some value on that money, even if it's not the same value we'd get on £40 million for a Brazilian wonder kid. Hoyenhouse just made a rare error there. The cross has come in. The header appeared to be straight at him, and it's been palmed into the back of the net. The goal's been awarded. I don't really know what we were investigating. Anyway, there didn't seem anything wrong with it. It's just a header that's gone straight at him. My monitor has just turned off and then turned itself back on again. I don't think, I had a quick glance at OBS. I don't think it interrupted what you were able to see. But I couldn't see what was happening for a second there. So maybe it was just the universe not wanting me to see Hoy and Hal make a mistake, because I didn't see it because of the monitor. So that makes things okay. Probably doesn't trust me without a tie on. It reminds him too much of Schalke seeing me wearing training gear again. He's getting horrible flashbacks to when I left him stranded in Germany for 3 or 4 months. And he was very sad about it, I imagine. Right, we need to get back into this game in this second half. We should probably, let's drop a little bit of encouragement right at the start of the second half. We'll go attacking shortly if we haven't scored yet. We've obviously got Alvarez on the bench as well, who's certainly capable of coming on and changing a game. But Januzek is already on the pitch and capable of changing a game. It's 1-1, and that is a lovely piece of football from us. This is why Diaz isn't playing, because we've got Tippel and Januzek, who both play in that same role and are really effective at it. We've obviously got Zanelli, who can play there as well. We are blessed with quite a lot of very good central midfielders with an attacking mindset who sit nicely in that Mazzala role. I say we're blessed. I signed them all because I wanted to have lots of options there. But that's, I don't know, we probably do need to force Diaz a little bit harder than I've been forcing him so far. Spurs have got, I mean, they've just cut us completely open there, and Hoy and Hal, much more like what I've come to know and love about that man, making the save, and it's a corner for Tottenham. 56 minutes gone, and was that, for a second I thought it was Hoy and Hal coming out. I actually think it was one of the defenders heading clear, and Tottenham looking to continue their attack. They're finding it quite easy to move the ball around our players at the moment. Like, we could do with a little bit more oomph in that central midfield, which, I mean, that is what Tippel gives us. He's good going forward, but he is actually, I mean, he's a left back as well. He's actually capable of being a little bit, working a little bit harder, I wouldn't say he's great at tackling, but he does work hard in there, which with Walsh and Januzek, maybe we miss out on that a little bit. One day I'll check if you can actually hear the doorbell ringing when it happens in the middle of videos like that, or whether you just get a weird cut with no explanation. But there's your explanation. The doorbell just rang, and we're camped out on the edge of Tottenham's penalty area when I come back, and Zamorano with the shot from range, and it's tipped wide by the Spurs goalkeeper. We've got a corner, and I would like a breakthrough here, please. Casellare with the in-swinger, looking at the far post where Mateus was lurking, but he can't get his head onto the end of it. It falls to Asa Walsh, who's trying to keep the move going. Plays it inside to Januzek. Big cross to Casellare, who's coming in at the far post, having taken the corner, but he can't get any contact on it. And we move straight on to another highlight where we are starting from a throw and really trying to get the breakthrough. And Carlos with a thunderous effort from range. The amount of times we've seen him do that now, he definitely has goals in him as our attacking midfielder. I think he must be our top scorer at this point. And it's another Gilberto? Carlos special. And it's, I mean, look at it. Look at it. He just takes one look and hits it really hard. Hour gone. We turned the game on its head in the first 15 minutes of this second half. Now we just need Hoy and Hal to redeem himself from his mistake in the first half. And we should be picking up 3 points here. Mingueza playing it forward for Pedro Luis to chase. He's got Casellare square of him. He doesn't need him. And that's a very tidy finish. He does now speak English. That happened the last couple of weeks. I would expect him to start doing stuff like that a little bit more often. We've seen flashes of genius from him throughout his first half a season with us. But I think he's going to be more and more prolific going forward. Now he's fully settled into the team, speaking English, the new vice captain. I think we should start to expect some return on our very large financial investment on Pedro Luis going forward. And that is an immediate reply from Spurs, though, and it's a bit of a soft goal for us to concede. A free kick aimed at the far post, and we just let them have a free header. I'm not really sure where our marking is there. Who's number 24? Zamorano. Still maintain he was good. I was right about him, not you lot. But he did just let that guy have a completely free header there. Right. Oh, everyone's so tired. We did play 3 days ago, so we are going to tire as these games go on. Angelino can come off for Sessegnon. What a wonderful thing, being able to rotate at left back finally. We're also going to take off Janusek and bring on Diaz. And we're going to leave it there for now because we've got so many other tired legs. There are a number of changes I could be making there. Alvarez is probably the most likely to come on, although that being said, Casolare keeps his recent run of goal-scoring form going to make it 4-2, and maybe the last thing we need is to change a striker, and perhaps we need to look at Caesar or maybe Walsh as players who are tiring and need to come off. That is a very tidy finish from Casolare. This front three have all played very, very well today, and if I'm Julian Alvarez sat there on the bench watching these three play the way they're playing, I'd be thinking, yeah, it might be time for me to head off to China for a bit and earn some money, finish off my career with a big sack of cash. We're going to bring on Haruna for the final 10 minutes or so in central midfield. Both him and Zamorano are just as adept playing that role or that role, so it doesn't really matter which way round we play them. Ben Chilwell was playing for Tottenham, unless that's a different left-back called Chilwell. I think that's quite unlikely, though. Good work from Haruna to win the ball back. And now Diaz to Pedro Luis, and Casolare's in again. And, I mean, he took a little bit too long. He was trying to be clever and dink it over the goalkeeper. And it's actually led to a very quick counter-attack from Tottenham. But Hoyenhal, back to his usual self, is equal to it. And it remains 4-2. And looking at the match stats, we have been absolutely rampant today. That is an excellent performance. And that league table is looking very, very interesting as we are well into the second half of the season now. The league table sees us level on points with Manchester United who are in fourth place. We're in fifth, but we're actually only 6 points off the top of the table. We're closer to the top of the Premier League than we are to 8th place and not Europe, which is mad. But now we're going to forget about the league and go and try and win the FA Cup. Norwich fans, I have a question. Why is Dion Dublin a Norwich legend? Because if I go on the Norwich legends lists, he's there second behind only Darren Eadie on the Norwich legends list. Good as a Peterborough fan to see posh old boy Adam Drury on the list as well. For some reason, he's not on the Peterborough legends list. He should be. He was great for us as well. But Dion Dublin, why is he a Norwich legend? Because if you look at his career, he started at Norwich in 87-88, but they immediately released him, never playing a game for him. In fact, we can see it better on his career stats. So he came through their youth system and never played, got released, went to Cambridge where he scored loads of goals, ended up at Man United. We all know the Dion Dublin story, but then doesn't go back to Norwich until the very end of his career, where he had 2 seasons for him in the Championship, amassing 12 goals over 2 years as a striker in the Championship. I mean, is he just on the club's legend list because he invented the doob and he's cool? Why is Dion Dublin a Norwich legend? What have I missed? Let me know down in the comments section. I mean, Cambridge, yeah, I get that. Coventry, I get that. But Norwich, it doesn't make any sense. We have made a number of changes for this game. In fact, we're going to make another one. If I can find him. Where is Haruna? Why can't I find him? There he is. He's gonna... Oh, what am I doing here? Right. Learn to use the buttons, Kev. So I know I said we're going to try and win the FA Cup, but at the same time, we've played 2 league games in a week and we need to rotate a little bit as well. Lovric is my FA Cup goalkeeper, so he's going to come in and play. Wagyu is away on international duty. Angelino's cup tied, so a little bit limited at fullbacks. Aurelio is not really fit to play either. And I don't really want to use Kante when he's on the transfer list at his own request. And he's got grumpiness on. So we're going with Sessegnon, obviously, at left back. Noel's going to go out and play right back, which has the double whammy of allowing Mateus to continue getting some game time, which we've promised him. So that seems to make sense there. Haruna, you've just seen why he's coming in at the base of the midfield, because Zamorano is not fully fit. We're then going with Zanelli and Tipple in central midfield, who both missed out against Tottenham. Mortellaro coming in for a rare start. He needs match fitness. He's only actually fit to play 45 minutes, but we'll get him on anyway. Griffin Diaz can come on at half time and we'll shuffle the midfield around a little bit to accommodate him. And then Alvarez is coming back in the team up front to play alongside Pedro Luis, who is probably going to come off at half-time as well and get Casellare on, because both of them are tired off the back of their recent exploits. But it's at times like this when the games start to come a little bit closer together, and with one eye looking forward at next season, thinking about potentially being in Europe, it's at times like this when I realise just how small our squad is, how little depth we have, and how much work there still is here to do at Norwich. We talked about it in yesterday's video, I think, or the day before, how if we do get into Europe, expect us to finish in the bottom half of the Premier League next year. And I mean, I think that's the case. I think you look at this squad, there's not a chance this squad can compete domestically and in Europe, playing twice a week, every week, because you've seen the effect of playing 3 times in 8 days has had on the squad here. We're down to the absolute bare bones. We're playing our centre-back at right-back, and we've not really got any options to come off the bench, and the ones that are there are tired. So it's a long way from ideal. There's still work to do. We need to be keeping an eye out for those reasonably priced English wonder kids. That's easy to do, right? Really, really easy to do. 23 minutes gone, and what a contrast from the Tottenham game. The few changes we've made seem to have taken all the sting out of us, and we've not actually had much in the way of an attack just yet. Although we have got a free kick on the edge of the West Ham area here, so if we can stick this in the top corner, that'll do nicely. It's Alvarez lining it up, and I think that's just tickled the top of the crossbar as it's gone behind for a goal kick. And you can see Pedro Luis already absolutely shattered. Don't you worry, young man. You will be coming off at half-time. Let's. I hope there's no replays in the FA Cup. I think there might be. A replay's the last thing we need. Right, Casellare's going to come on. We're actually going to leave him that way round. Casellare has played a couple of times as the deep line forward recently and done quite well. And Alvarez is kind of my regular advance forward at the moment. We're going to take off Mortillaro as well. And the plan was to bring Diaz on and then shuffle the midfield around, into this shape. Yeah, that's what I planned to do. So double change at half-time. We could really do without getting any injuries because we are a little bit light on players, as previously mentioned. And West Ham have a corner. Caesar's there to head it clear. But West Ham get the ball back immediately and head it back goalwards. They didn't head it. It headed back goalwards. There was no heads involved, but it's gone nicely over the bar. So Lovric not tested on what I think is probably the first time you've seen him play. Despite the fact I've had him at my previous 2 clubs, I don't think you've seen him play a game of football until now. So this is Lovric, everybody. This is why I spent £10 million on him in the summer. Diaz back to Caesar, and now Haruna. A big day for Haruna. He needs to start pressing forward and getting more regular starts in the team. 5-star potential youngster. That's the kind of player that we want a little bit more of around these parts. Sessegnon playing it back to Diaz, who does nicely to play it back to Haruna. But then it's all the way back to Caesar, and any sting that was in that attack is removed from it. Although we've kept the ball moving. Sessegnon now trying to get into the area again on that far side, and Alvarez is there from the cross, and he scores a 10th goal of the season for him. So forget all that Gilberto Carlos nonsense. Alvarez is clearly still our top scorer. And it's good work from Diaz and Sessegnon, who I may have been a little negative about midway through that move, but the pair of them knew what they were doing. They just went back to Caesar, repositioned themselves and had another go at it. And this time it does lead to a goal. West Ham 0, Norwich 1. It's only our second shot on target of the match, but we scored it. I mean, to be fair, West Ham have only had 1 shot on target for all their possession, for all their shots. They've only actually tested the goalkeeper once. So who's the real stylish man in a trading top here? Me, of course. It's me. You can't see my chest hair in this one. I haven't shaved it. It's still there. Don't worry. There you go. Here come the views. The chest hair's out again. It works for Zealand. Right. One more change. The entire defence is broken. Mingueza's the only one who realistically can come on. He's not fully fit to come on. But I guess we'll just bring him straight on for Noel. Easy enough to do. Noel gets a little bit of a rest. Mingueza can come on and do what he does from right back and probably actually give us a little bit more going forward. I say probably, definitely give us a bit more going forward than Noel does. Noel, by the way, on deadline day in January, was linked with a £40 million move to Liverpool. That's a lovely finish from Alvarez. I suspect he's probably offside, but I don't know. You get no clue out of the linesman. I don't think we're going back to VAR. I think that's just a straight up 2-0. Lovely stuff. Job done. Castellari, see what I mean about him playing deep? He's good at that role. Tipple with a lovely pass. That's why he's worth £42 million. And Alvarez there for the finish. I mean, he heard what I was saying in the first half of the episode. He's decided he's not finished with his Norwich career yet. And Lovridge has made a save. Huzzah! Lovridge has made a save. Lovely stuff. And what I was saying about Knoll is, yeah, we're getting some of our better players are starting to get linked with some big value moves to some other clubs. Hopefully this is being disallowed for offside. Jared Bowen he must be getting on a bit now. It's season 9 of the save. But he is there to score for West Ham, and it has been disallowed. Lovridge continues his unbeaten record as Norwich goalkeeper. Lovely stuff. We don't need to see whether it was offside or not. We trust the referee around these parts. Who on earth am I to question a footballing official? Exactly. You shouldn't be questioning them either. Whatever the referee says goes in situations like that where they're right. Alvarez playing it back to Haruna, and now Zanelli, who's been quiet today. Zanelli to Tipple. Alvarez, and there's his hat-trick. Although this looks like one of those FM22 offsides where he's back to goal, the ball's played into feet, and the defenders step up as it's happening. It wasn't one of those. The goal has been awarded. You get so many disallowed for this move in FM22. But there you go. He has just got himself back onside. And that is a hat-trick, a very good hat-trick too. I need to check the second goal. There's potential we've had a perfect hat-trick there from Alvarez. Let me know down in the comments. Was his second goal on his left foot? Because the first was definitely a header, wasn't it? I need you to review the tapes for me and let me know down in the comments section. But we will leave things there for today's video. We're on for a League and Cup double, boys and girls. And Posh have won away again. Oh, what a time to be alive. Goodness me, everything is going beautifully. I imagine I'm about to get sacked, or more likely, when it comes to rocking the boat in a save like this, everything's going so well, I imagine I'm going to get an offer to go and manage Marseille or something ridiculous. And I suppose I better go. We'll have a quick look what is available. Well, thankfully, there doesn't look like there's much chance of me going anywhere before the end of the season, which will do me nicely. Right, we will be back tomorrow as ever. I think we probably keep tracking this FA Cup run. I mean, I know it's not very far away, but Liverpool in the FA Cup game seems like a logical place to come back, because if we're genuinely in a Champions League race, that Liverpool game is crucial, more crucial than Manchester City, because Manchester City are finishing above us regardless. Even though there's only 1 point in it, you would expect them to be better than us. Liverpool, that's an opportunity for us to put some ground between us and Liverpool. So we'll be back for Liverpool and the next round of the FA Cup as we continue to try and do our League and Cup double with Norwich. If we pull this off, I am the greatest Football Manager player in history, and none of you will be allowed to argue with that statement. It will just be fact. I'll be releasing T-shirts and crowns and everything, just proclaiming how great I am. So it's probably best for my brand image that doesn't happen. I think we're probably safe. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.